So I'm going live just to say some things that are going on in my life. Personally, I'm having some issues with struggles in my life that are uh, creating it hard, making it harder for I think every Canadian out there who's struggling financially due to the fact that um, the government doesn't really want to supply the necessary basic needs for people through money, because money is essentially how it works. Like, you have money, you need it to be able to survive, but it's not easy to make money in this world. And a lot of the money is being used to keep people in their situations of struggle, because that's unfortunately how economics work in a capitalistic society. However, I would like to say that I think human life is more important than money, and it will always be more important than money. Regardless if you're struggling at your job to try and make enough money just to be able to pay your bills and get to work and buy food and shelter and everything that is a necessity in this life. And that's my struggle, is that I can't really afford the basic needs in life in my country that is supposed to be a country that is free. And I would point fingers at people like Justin Trudeau, who unfortunately is to blame for a lot of this kind of stuff that's going on, as for people going hungry in this country. But it's also people who are pulling the strings of the essentially puppet prime minister, which is a movie that we made a long time ago about how uh, sometimes politicians are just simply puppets for big corporations that are, you know, embezzling funds, that are stealing funds from other countries. And this is all prevalent in in today's society, that this is going on. But that's where I struggle, is like, I have to deal with that pressure of like trying to hold my job and trying to make it to work while people try and bring me down all the time. And I'm not blaming anyone at work. I'm not blaming anyone individually. I'm just saying that it's it's about overcoming these obstacles in your life to make sure that you're doing the best thing that you can do for yourself, but not stepping on anyone to get to the top. Because a lot of people think that's how you get to the top, is by climbing over other people's bodies, and that's not the truth. That's a progstinent of hell, I mean. That is like hell. Like, you will always constantly be climbing over other people and just stepping on them to make yourself richer monetarily, but you will lose all the divine providence of life, because you're constantly having to bring someone else down to make your life sustainable. So you just gotta, like, stress is the number one killer in all of America. And believe me, I understand that, because stress will cause disease, and stress will cause people to give up in life and not want to continue on with the struggles of life. But something has to be done in this country about people like um, the politicians who are so corrupt that people are starving in this country and they can't afford to sustain their lives and take care of their families. So, like, maybe, like, we can't, like, apparently we can't even protest about it now, because we go to protest and it's like, oh no, we're going to send in the army and the police force to harass all these people who are just innocent in the country, who are trying to stand up to a tyrant like Justin Trudeau. And like, everyone's scared to say this stuff because he's not mentally well. Like, the guy is insane. So people are afraid to talk about this kind of stuff, and I'm just letting you know that my channel is about standing up to the corruption, the subordinate way of thinking that you have to keep the masses struggling so that you can rely on them to keep them employed in their minimum wage jobs. So, like, I don't want to sound like I'm going to make a tinfoil hat and put it on my head, but that's just the way that this country is being run, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the fact that, like, I I'm trying to make enough money to support myself, and other people are struggling as well, and we're not alone in this, but it all stems from the corrupt government that can't even account for $10 billion in infrastructure money that just vanished. Like, where did that money go? It went towards more corruption and crime in this country, and that's the truth, is that this is a criminal running our country. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to vent and make my peace with the liberals, even though I wouldn't even call myself a conservative or a liberal. I would say that I enjoy the politics of Greek time, where you had Aristotle and you had Socrates and all those apathetic philosophers that were believed in God. Honestly, they believed that God was real, and even if they didn't believe in the Hebrew God, they believed in gods in some sort of, oh, that was Patroclus? No, it wasn't Patroclus. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. The point I'm trying to make is that I'm glad that you guys watch my channel. Please tune in for like more content, but right now I gotta focus on me because I'm struggling so much. Like, my car is completely like out of commission now, so I have to find another ride to work. And to like it's hard to get to work because I'm relying on other people to make it so that I can have enough transportation to make it to my job. And on top of this, I'm struggling with other things because it's just a cause and effect of the pooling instead of the trickle down effect, which is destroying everyone's wallets. And I'm not a politician.
See you later.
I'm simply a man who is sick and tired of people stepping on other people to get to the top. And once they're at the top, they laugh at people like us who try and make enough money to support our families. And then, like, I'll just give you an example of what happened to me. So they I collected CERB for 2 months after being contacted by the CRA and being told that I qualified for it and that I would not have to pay it back. And then the government sent me a bill for $4,032. And now, because I haven't made any payments, because I can't afford to, because I have to fix my car, I have my phone bill, I have to buy groceries, I have to pay rent, I have all these bills that are surmounting in my life because no one can survive financially in a country that's crumbling beneath them. And then they tell me that I have to pay interest on this $4,032. That is a massive bill that I only make $19.45 an hour. And I work 40-hour weeks when I'm not completely destroyed from having back issues from my past. And it's just unreasonable that people think that this is normal. like our kids are growing up in this age where they're like, "Oh, well, we can't eat tonight. I guess that's just the way life is because there's not enough food to go around." And it's like, okay, well, you eat first, kids, and I'll just starve myself for a couple days, and just because there's there's food scarcities going on, there's government overspending of money, and the inflation is causing people to not be able to afford nice things. We have to get cheap food that has no nutrition in it, and it's just like, you are not the shepherd, government. The shepherd is the king. He tends to us like a flock. But we are not sheep to you. We are men, and you are the sheep. I'm just going to leave it there because I'm rambling on and I'm just frustrated and I don't know how else to explain this to people, but wake up to the government because they're not doing good things for people who are regular people. Anyway, goodbye.